Hello friends, welcome. It's time to paint some toy soldiers. I'm going to continue painting this guy. Hope everyone has a wonderful time tonight. It's not long out from the Guild's Inn, which is exciting. In just over a few short days, I'll be heading to Sydney. The winner is Sydney. That's exciting. G'day Jared. G'day Cragzog. Yes, very excited. Say hello, Mossy. Say hello.
Hi.
Mossy's here. Put your head on the screen. It's just Jared and... That's your hand, dickhead. Put your head in there. Do that funny face. Yeah, do it.
You get my hand.
I'm going to grab you and bring you onto the screen.
There's two people.
Yeah, you know both of them.
Gluten free. What about vegan?
Yeah, you're coming on screen. You are coming on screen. Come here. Ah! Ah! Say hi to Mossy, everyone. Hi. Good work,
Oh,
Jared.
it's vegan.
Vegan's close to
Gluten free.
gluten free. Very funny. Good work. You tried your best, Jared, and that's all we can ask of you, mate. Maybe just try a bit better next time, eh? It is only Monday. You've got time. You can still recover it.
Vegan pizza.
Vegan pizza. Yes, so we got started yesterday on the diorama. Well, this component. Any snack preferences that are vegan, mate, I'm sure she'll be delighted at.
Shapes. Pizza shapes.
Pizza shapes, apparently. Yes, so we're getting underway with the big project. It's feels good. Did a little bit on some other models yesterday as well, so I'll show those off later on. Yep. I'm not sure why, but this one feels bigger. This one feels like a really big project to me. There's an overwhelming amount of scenery to paint, so. But I figured I'd start with the church scene, the good guys, and see if we can knock a lot of that over, and that'll feel like we're making some headway. Yeah, so I was quite sick for a couple of weeks there. Couldn't really paint. Didn't feel like doing much. Filmed a few episodes of Kingdom Death, but that was mostly in between a lot of resting. So yeah, just started to feel more human last week. Started picking up the paintbrush again and finished off that cool Goblin night, which was fun. And yeah, felt like I was in a good headspace to start painting the diorama. I'm not sure if I had COVID, mate, but it wouldn't surprise me if I did. It's pretty off tap for a while. So yeah, wiped me out for mm, yeah, wiped me out for a good 2-3 weeks. At a very bad time too for my work, but got yeah, there you go. Like there's a lot of people have been talking to me like, yeah, I had it was awful. So Mossy's just been kicking along, trying to tell me that's because she's vegan. She doesn't get sick. I'm gonna rub it in so much when she does get sick. All right, so just a brief refresher on this component of the project. So this is the church scene, which is the high value, light colors, warm tones piece element. Everything on this in this element is being lit from holy light of some description. So everything here will have quite warm colours and hopefully some high value stuff. Whereas everything down below is going to be lit by much more of a green light. And then the underground will be lit by a warm sort of candle torchlight sort of colour palette. And that's about as far as my actual planning and preparation has gone on the colour schemes. Okay, Plank. This has got a very Geralt feel now that I sort of look at it, hasn't it? That's good. Bit of Geralt. So yeah, looking forward to the guilds in. Feels like I haven't spoken to everyone in a while. Been very, very busy at work. Obviously the last couple of weeks has been challenging. So it'd be nice to see everyone and talk about toy soldiers and make some funny jokes about whatever it is we're joking about at the time. Excited to see what DC's been cooking up. What Bucks has been cooking up. The two of them have been conspicuously absent from, well, the channels that I follow anyway. Next diorama is going to be the Lizard Men from Aradia. Going to do a big jungle themed lizard one. Should be good. Quite excited actually for it. But I'm excited about this one too. This guy does not have eyes that are easy to paint well. Indeed. A weem away, a weem away. Oh, away, oh, away, oh, away, oh, away. Oh, you've done it. You've done it. You've got a free song out of me. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. A wee, away. In the valley, the quiet valley, the lion sleeps tonight. In the valley, the peaceful valley, the lion sleeps tonight. A wee, away. That's quite annoying. What colour's this? This is cloudy sky. Yeah, well said, Craig's. Well said. This looks like a nice colour. Let's use that. Let's use it on the little fur bits. So I probably need to think about the colour palette of the good guys a little bit more broadly. Do I want to include a unifying good guy colour, like a blue, a sky blue, or do I just want to keep it quite loose? Paint as we feel. It's an interesting question. When I'm painting a... G'day Simon, thank you mate. I'm painting an army, you know, you obviously want to have everything feel cohesive and unified. And so you stick with the same colour palette, but this isn't a regiment, this is just a group of brave souls trying to fight off a swarming horde of undead. Yes, I'm inclined. Hello there, Andrew. I'm inclined to think you're probably right, Jared. Hello there. It has been, mate. Yes, I was just saying before. Feels like forever. Saying to Mossy, haven't spoken to you all. I had several hectic weeks of work, travel, followed by several hectic weeks of being sick as a dog. But we're back from outer space. Yeah, it's been full on for me, but it's probably started to hit the home stretch now for me when it comes to work. I'll be traveling probably once or twice more, and that'll be all she wrote. Which is a good feeling. Yeah, sweet mate. We're happy to talk. See you again. Listen to the dulcet tones of one Andrew Buckley. That's it. That's the plan. Talk about the Guild's Inn. Alright, so this guy's a witch hunter. So what colour do I want his little lapel to be? Probably feel like... Actually, lapel's not exactly the right word. This little tabard, no. Loincloth, there we go. Loincloth, Deno. Dark. Dark. Dark sea blue. Into turquoise. Yeah, we did have a little session, didn't we? Yeah, it's probably a good opportunity to do so. Um, so yeah, let's tentatively schedule a yes in there, and we'll put aside some time. I'm not feeling too concerned about this year at this stage. It's still a long way away. Not that long, I suppose. What are we? 5 months now? 7? Yeah, 5 months. Probably should start to think about it. No, that's not true. I've been thinking about it. But yeah, let's definitely lock that in. tell you one thing that I really struggle with painting, and that's guns. I don't really have a clear picture in my head about guns, what bits are, you know, various elements. Like, I don't really know what's wood and what's metal and what's otherwise. So every time I paint a gun, it's always just like a best guess. Paint this in metal or paint this in whatever. That's been consistent for a long time. I just don't know anything about guns. And I'm actually okay with that. Am I fully talked for Crimson? I am fully talked for Crimson, mate. Always fully talked. I live my life 100 talks at a mile. When I wake up, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you. When I come home, 'cause I would talk 500 miles and I would talk 500 more. Just to be the man who walked 1,000 miles to fall down at your door. Da 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 It's a good tune, that. Never did, Jared. Never did. Couldn't track one down. I saw you got one. Quite enjoyed your version, actually. Yeah, I would have liked it. It was one of those ones that I was on the fence about when it came out, and I decided not to go for it, which I ultimately ended up regretting. There was quite a period there when I was like, no, I don't think I want that, and then I ended up wanting like 19 of them. So, but no, most of the recent judgment calls I've made have been pretty good. But yeah, he looked difficult. He looked like a difficult one. In your wheelhouse, though, I would have thought. Yeah. A lot of good faces. Jared, my girlfriend, yeah, thank you. He's fun. My girlfriend and I have been watching a show recently called Love on the Spectrum. I don't know if you and your missus watch much TV, but if you're ever interested in understanding why I'm such a weirdo, just watch that show, mate. It'll explain so much. Really, really, just nails it. Nails the Big Deno experience. Doesn't it, Mossy? it's it is actually a very good show too, Jared. Like, it's nice to watch. It's good, good entertainment, as well as being a really nice message. Ba-da-da-da-ba. Where's me Agaros Dunes at? Where are you? There you are, you little mongrel. Look, I think I would. I think they probably wouldn't choose me for that show. First of all, because Emma would murder me if I started looking for love on the spectrum. Because I've already got it. Haven't I, Mossy? uh, but also, I don't think I'd be entertaining enough. That is probably a very good point. Ah, stupid sword hilt. Tell you what, the more we get into this model, the more great little details there are. It's a delightful little figure. Really nice. Really, really nice. I'll just quickly show off. I did a little bit of work on Asteria. There she is. So started the ball rolling on her. She's front and center. She's sort of like this viewing angle, I think. So she's good. Also did a little bit of airbrushing on this girl with her beautiful, cool lines. But we're saving the big boy till the end. Oh, my favourite one. He gets done last. Last. Alright, I'll just dry that, I think. Yeah, a little bit of airbrushing will do some work, I think. Bringing it all together. You know the drill. You certainly should know the drill by now if you've been around for as long as you have on how I do things. But yeah, just a little bit of airbrushing. Might need to tie this blue in somewhere else, maybe. Okay. Got some new Kingdom Death toys today. Some individual single figures. So it'd be cool to paint some of those up. This is the challenge of being a toy soldier painter, isn't it? You just always get something new that catches your fancy and you're like, yeah, I'd like to paint that. That'd be sick. And then before you know it, the next thing comes along. And you're like, yeah, I'd like to paint that too. And then all of a sudden you realise you've only got 12 hours in the day. Or less. Because you have to spend time with your girlfriend. She gets angry at you if you don't. Isn't that right, Mossy? Spend time with your girlfriend. Gotta do that. Yeah, agreed. So I'm just going to tell you a little. I'm just going to share a little story with you today. And Mossy's going to listen to this, and she's going to laugh, and she's probably going to want to come out and defend herself, right? So we had a conversation the other day. She said to me, you know, I'd really love it if when we wake up beside each other in the morning, if you would just say some nice things about me instead of rolling over and grabbing your phone and looking up fucking Twitter or whatever it is you do, right? So this is what she says to me. So I say, that's good feedback. Yep, great, appreciate that. Thanks for sharing how you feel. So the next morning, I wake up and I say, geez, you look beautiful this morning, Mossy. And then the following morning, I'm about to drive her to work. And I wake up, and the first thing I say to her is, oh, you're such a beautiful woman. I'm so impressed with how attractive you are. And what a wonderful person you are. I'm so lucky to have you in my life. Exactly what she'd asked for. Literally, exactly. Don't laugh, Mossy. It's true. She asked me to say nice things about her in the morning. And then I got in trouble. Why did I get in trouble? Because I didn't mean it. It sounded scripted. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean those things that I said, the nice things. It wasn't good enough. You need to like it when you say it. You need to mean it. Otherwise it doesn't mean anything. So I said, so what you're telling me is not that you want me to say nice things to you in the morning, but that you want me to say nice things to you in the mornings because I want to. She's like, yes, that's exactly it. And I said, well, I'm sorry, I don't. And then I got in trouble. She said, I just want you to be authentic. I said, well, I am authentic. So there you go. There's a wonderful lesson for all of you aspiring punters out there. Never date a woman. Isn't that right, Mossy? What? Pay them attention in the mornings. Instead of your phone. I think that's bad advice. My advice to you, friends, don't listen to Mossy. She doesn't know anything about women. Do you? You do you. Just live your passion. Take it from me, as a man who's 41 and very, very, very likely to soon be single. After this conversation, just live your best life. Isn't that right, Moss? Anyway, it's been good getting to know you all. Anyway, you just can't win. Do exactly what you're told. I don't want that. Goodness me. I didn't have it written on my hand, no. Contemplated it. Alright, so I think I need to do the airbrushing now. because this gun element, I think I want it to be more black than silver. Thank you. Yes, book me in for that. That'd be good. No, look, it's all said in jest. I'm very, very happy. That's what I've been told to say anyway. Alright, we'll do some airbrushing. So, what is it that I want to achieve out of this airbrushing? Maybe it actually is not quite time yet. Don't rush, Deno. Don't rush. You always rush. You're a rusher.
Great question one should ask themselves.
Oh, what is the question? Am I rushing?
No. What am I setting out to achieve?
Oh, it's good to
Segue.
good to see you. Good to see you, Andrew.
I'm just going to shut the doors, but that's almost like a jam session in waiting, right?
That it is.
Hello. How you going?
I'm wonderful, mate.
Since we did one of these,
Good to hear your voice. Has been a while.
let me just turn down the stream. I just sent out a story saying that we're going to do some streaming about Guilds Inn, so hopefully some people who are attending might pop on.
I should probably share that, shouldn't I? Hey,
If you want to.
Mossy, you
It's
got
not
my phone?
It's not really your MO. You're much more just I'm jumping in and doing what I'm doing.
Oh, I've got it here. Thank you. I was going to get you to grab it for me. Here, look, let's just do a quick share. I'm very good at social media, as you well know.
What's this love on the spectrum stuff? Have you been watching?
Oh my god, mate, it's the best.
Well, Alice, it seems we both have autism, don't we?
We watched all of the American one the other day, and yeah, it's like a poster about my life, really.
Yeah, I was going to say, was there any striking similarity?
Oh yeah, Mossy's just like, it's you the whole time. So
what's been up, mate? We haven't spoken or seen each other for a little bit. What's been the vibe apart from sharing the occasional profound reel?
No, I had a monster couple of months there at work, which now has finally tailed off, and I can start to wind things down for myself, both at work as well as forever at work. So that's nice. And then I got sick a couple of weeks ago. That knocked me around, and yeah, so it's finally starting to get back into the swing of things and streaming a little bit more regularly and painting a little bit more regularly and feeling excited about doing those things. So yeah.
What was sickness? Just everyday sickness? Just
Look, I think it could have been COVID. Like it was pretty full on.
Spicy.
Yeah, but I didn't get tested. Nor did I go see a doctor. I just raw dogged it. which is
Yeah, that sounds like a middle-aged 40-year-old male's approach to most things, right? Just
yep,
I'm just gonna not leave bed, and I'm just gonna grimace at myself
yep.
through gritted teeth, and that should fix the problem.
And then I'll get better.
And
Cheers.
then I'll get better, or I won't, and I'll adapt.
Yep. And then I'll live my life from the bed.
It's that classic, like, I cut my finger off. I guess I'm Andrew of the Nine Fingers now. You don't want to go to the doctor and fix that up? Nah, I'm past. I've moved past that.
So you're, what have you been up to, mate? You done much painting? You got any bangers cooking?
It's been a long 3 months as well. Not to start off on too much of a negative, but obviously, we were in a shared group chat, which was a bit sad to lose some really good mates over the last 3 months.
Yes, we did.
That was that's definitely occupied a bit of.
That probably hit you harder than it did hit me, but it certainly gave me some moments for pause.
Yeah. I think the tough one is to just sort of bring this back to painting is with one of those legends. I was going to actually catch up with him last July. Funnily enough, he was going to be in Melbourne, but we were in Sydney. We're at the Guild's Inn. So that wasn't to be, but it was going to be a regular thing. So it wasn't it was fine at the time. And then the other one was, I shared a word with just before CanCon. He lived in Canberra, and was going to catch up with him there. But you know what it's like for us at CanCon. It's busy, long days. And so that didn't happen either. So it's a bit of an absolute bummer in that situation. But you can't control those things, and you don't know what's ahead of you. So, but yeah, funny how it all kind of finds interesting ways to connect itself. But yeah, that obviously took up, and still continues to take up a bit of thinking, thought, and feeling.
Two youngish guys as well. Both on
48 and 49. So.
Yeah. So to lose them both within the space of a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
The second one almost felt like not even real. Like.
Yeah. And they were best mates as well. So,
yeah.
Right. So it was, and in unrelated incidences. So yeah, it really sent a shockwave through one of our other communities that Trent and I are a part of, and yeah, so there was that. And my mum has moved to Western Australia, so she...
Did she?
Yeah, she did. She jumped on a plane and took a job in Kununurra.
Good for her.
So, in education out there. So that, as you can imagine, was a pretty hectic time too. So it's been a fairly hectic 3 months.
Oh, good for you, mate. All round, handling that situation. Tough.
Yeah. Yeah, and in all honesty, we've gone through some massive work changes as well. So it's the season for it. However, as you were sharing before, we're similar. We're right on the back end of it all now. So 2 weeks off has just started. Starts technically tomorrow, but looking forward to that. That'll be the first 2 weeks I think I've had off together since 2019. So. You're very aware of this. You're actually pretty good at this. I'm not so good at this, but you tend to play it smart around our events and usually tack on a few weeks.
Yeah.
Either side of it, because they're pretty taxing, right?
Yeah, draining.
But I have not been as intelligent in that space, and often just do 3 or 4 days for the event and maybe 1 day after it, and then back to work. So this will be the first one that I'm trying it the way that you do it, and having a few days off before and a few days off after, and I think I'll be better off for it. So.
Well, you've got to stop and smell the roses, mate. And we used to have this thing that I used to call PTD, post-tournament depression. And it actually really hits you after all of this build up and not seeing your friends and spending a wonderful time and just full of energy, enthusiasm, and then you hit the end of that, and it's a real come down to have to go back to work and not have just a moment to sit with yourself and feel those feelings. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's tough. So. Good approach.
It definitely is. So, but no, been looking forward to it. It's a very different. This will be the most unique event for me so far since joining the.
Oh, you're judging this year, aren't you?
Yeah, judging and jamming. So I've never really experienced not preparing for an event before.
Yeah.
And that's been very different. And it's probably no secret that I probably overthink things a lot, and definitely like to delve into stuff around painting and philosophy and all that sort of stuff. So it's been an interesting few weeks in the lead up. Very excited though. Looking forward to learning as always. Uh, and taking everything that and all the experiences there and carrying it on to the Crimson Brush in February or late January, I should say.
Let's not talk too much about Crimson, but I'm excited for it.
No.
I'm excited for it, but we
But
should keep the focus.
it's just funny, isn't it? How
Yeah.
quickly
It rolls around
how
quick.
quickly it all comes around, right?
Yeah.
So,
But everything does feel so linked now, you know, like we are
Yeah.
one big community, and, you know, each event sort of leads into the next, and, you know, the lessons that we're learning at Crimson are being implemented at guilds, and then, you know, vice versa. We're hopefully going to learn some lessons from guilds and take that into Crimson and, you know, other events like Arc. So,
art and stuff. Anvil. Absolutely, yeah. It's like, yeah, you don't, you know. We're definitely going to chat about guilds tonight, which is great. But you're right, they are all linked in some way or another, and they're linked in for everyone attending too, right? Like some people tend to use that, like they can use an event as a space to really tune themselves up if they're shooting for something else, or it can be the one that they're absolutely going after. I know, obviously Dave and I are often in good solid communication, but that's been different in the lead up to guilds.
because he doesn't want you to see, because he wants to swap something in front of you as a judge.
Yeah, I think it's that, but I also think mostly he just wants to surprise me. You know, like if we take away competition altogether, I think he's just really excited to share what he's been working on.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he's shown very many people at all. I know he's shown a few people. He's not shown me anything. I've not seen a single thing, but he's definitely shown a couple of people in the community. And I know what his goal is. Like I know what he's trying to do. So that should be exciting to see. And I think there's a few people in Sydney who are really sort of gunning, which will be cool to see as well. And then I think we've got a lot of. I think there's actually going to be a few first timers at this event too.
Is there?
So, there's no secret that that's something that I love and I'm very passionate about, right? So I'm very much looking forward to seeing all the first timers and having a look at how they go and maybe offering some support for them.
Good for you, buddy. One hand down, one hand up, eh?
As always, as always. So, I think in all honesty, like I've probably not been as engaged these last 3 months with the painting broader scene in general as well. But what I have seen, it generally looks like the level of painting that's happening in our country is ever increasing, which is, on reflection is really amazing to see. I mean, it's the goal we set out for ourselves, right?
It is.
It's the goal we set out for our country, and even better, it's now a shared goal with many others, and people are picking up the baton and running with it. So,
well, that's the really important part that I think we need to stress, because I felt like a lone voice a couple of years ago, and I said this on the stream yesterday.
3 years ago, man, it was just you doing the stream, and it was just Dave doing Dave stuff, and that was it.
But then when it came to organising, and it came to events, and it came to growing the scene, it was pretty much me. And now, like I'll be honest, other than Crimson, I'm doing fucking nothing, and it feels delightful. It feels so good.
Well, I think it's allowing you to re-engage in a way. Like I'll just say that I think like obviously you're going to enter a piece or a few pieces into guilds, and I'll be judging them. But I'm not going to say too much. But I think what I've seen of your painting in the last little while, like particularly a goblin, seems to be a bit more of a reinvigorated trend in regards to pushing yourself. And I know you said I think I saw a little bit of a stream that I ducked in on to see like afterwards on YouTube, and you were saying I want to leave the airbrush aside for a while in this piece and really just sort of explore it with a brush. And yeah, I think you've probably found some positive results there, so that looks really awesome.
Yeah, I definitely feel like my painting, I wouldn't say stagnated, but it just became less about I want to get better and
Mm-hmm.
more about I want to relax and not stress. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and that's it's fine to know that. But yeah, there's also a moment in time when you go, yeah, you know what, I would like to go back to being a painter that people go, that guy's fucking awesome. But more importantly, I'd like to be able to challenge myself and start continuing, my growth, my journey as a painter. And yeah, so talking a bit wanky there, but you know what I mean.
I mean, it is. It's look. It's hard not to have some wanky elements attached to painting in general and expression, right? Like it's just a part and parcel. But it's really nice to hear you say those sorts of things. And I think what you're really talking about there, and I mean, I think that there are going to be. I think this ties into guilds in for a reasonable enough conversation. But you're talking about balance, and balance is actually pretty pretty hard thing to achieve,
Yeah.
right? Like some people say there's no such thing as balance, and the best you can hope for is blend. Just blending it all together as best you can. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely something I've experienced and had a few conversations about recently as well. Like although I've actually literally I've not painted a single display piece since Arc, apart from like this historical bust that I've kind of just been playing around with a little bit, and I've just not had the desire to want to go all in on that. So it's ended up cream and red, as lots of things do that I paint at the moment. It's been a weird color palette for me for the last probably 9 months or so. Uh, but it's blend, it's balance. I'll tell you one thing. The reason why I'm jumping on this one is because something that you have spoke about a lot is painting for fun
Mm.
and identifying what fun is for you.
Yeah.
And so I've not stopped painting. I've actually just, I've been painting lots of Warhammer stuff. Painted the better part of a Skaven Tide set. Really enjoyed doing that. Painted some Curse City stuff. I know you're a fan of the
Oh,
Curse City stuff.
that's a great set. That's a great set to paint.
Yeah, beautiful set. So I painted up some skeletons and some characters and some of those Kasagi ogres. The
Oh
Iron
yeah,
ogres.
yeah,
Those
yeah,
ones.
yeah.
Really
Awesome.
enjoyed that. I painted up a few little dwarfs when I got back. Like I did some dwarfs from across the old world. Like
Yeah,
different
different
eras and
dwarves.
times.
Nice.
Yeah. And so and realistically, all of that kind of painting has actually been not about trying to paint at my best ability, but just trying to, well, not even trying, right? I think for people like yourself and myself who are probably a little bit further on in the journey, um, you're always going to paint.
Yeah,
You're always going to do it. You're never not going to do it. But it's sometimes about identifying why you're doing it.
yeah.
And so, yeah, I've just definitely been sort of in that same space, right? Just in a different part of that nebulous sort of area. You're obviously in that spot where you're sort of like, I'd like to get back into challenging myself a bit and pushing myself, and I've probably jumped over to the other side a little bit, which is
But it's
falling
it's
into that
it's it's so
routine
okay.
painting.
It's so okay to do that, and jump
Yeah,
around. And
oh, it's
what's uh, not okay is putting this artificial pressure on yourself and saying I need to,
yeah,
do this. It's this is a hobby, for fuck's sake. Just enjoy
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Enjoy what you're
It's
doing.
supposed to be fun.
Yeah, and if you're reaching a point where you're like, this is I can't fucking do this, just put it aside and paint something else or do something else. Just
Yeah,
love what you do.
always be painting, right? Always
Yeah.
be painting. And then unless other interests come through, and then you've got to pursue those muses as well. I noticed you've been uploading a ton of
Kingdom Death.
playthroughs,
Yeah.
Kingdom Death playthroughs, and it's something for me. I've been starting to re-engage with the TCGs and the card games again.
Are you playing unlimited?
Well, a little bit, but more the collecting side. I've been sort of picking up the One Piece stuff again and doing a little bit of that. And then Unlimited's got a little bit of distribution challenges, as most card games do at this point. So I'll probably try to dip back in on that in the third set. But that's been pretty cool. But yeah, the painting stuff is it's such an interesting journey, man.
Mm.
It's so quickly. One thing I'd love to talk about is just how quickly it can turn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How
Yeah.
I could come back from Guilds in, see all of amazing, these amazing paint jobs from all different skill levels and journeys, and just it might just set a fire instantly, and you're
Yep.
back, and before you know it, you've painted 4 pieces, you know, or it might not, but both of those are
I
okay.
do think that I often expect that the Crimson will do that for me, and sometimes it does. Sometimes I come back and I want to paint, but there's also times when I want to paint, but I still haven't quite got the energy, the drive
Hmm.
to get back into it. And so I think it's just don't put any pressure on yourself is the key.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
just feel good about what you're doing, and
Yeah. I agree. I agree with you to a certain extent with not putting pressure on yourself. It's a funny, weird thing because you kind of need to be in the pressure cooker a little bit if you're really pushing to grow your skills to a degree, maybe. But at the same time, it can be detrimental to that as well, right? It's all just blending it all, getting
yeah.
it as close to what you
Well,
need.
as you know, mate, I talk about the zone of learning and having to feel a little bit uncomfortable to be able to grow and evolve. So I
Yeah,
think it's
very true.
what a
That was
wonderful wonderful time.
sorry, you go.
No, no,
Yeah,
no.
that was a. I mean, we can sort of use that as a nice little segue into something that we enjoyed and shared last year at the Guilds in, and you graciously helped me out with my jam session, which we covered some of the learnings and teachings you did a few years before the um, painting scene really started to pick up. So that was good fun, and we're going to be doing it again, but we're going to be separate this time.
Yes, unless you need
So
me
we're
to
going to
tag in
be.
and give you a hand, I'm happy to do so. But yeah, no, I'm doing a little one on dioramas, so I've had a bit
Yeah.
of time to prepare, but I haven't really. Uh, Based on what I observed of the jam sessions last time, I
Hmm.
felt like it would be much better to stay loose
Yeah.
and have it much more conversational than I'm going to talk at you for 2 hours, right? So I've got
That was
some,
that
yeah,
was something I was quite passionate about,
yeah,
obviously, at the last jam session, and felt was a real success for me
yeah,
on
and
the last
something
one.
I absolutely agree with. So I've got some slides, I've got some talking points written down, but I
Yeah.
want it to be very much a conversation about, this is what I think, but let's have a look at some examples and see how we all feel about it, and let's have a discussion, and what can we learn from that collaboratively, and yeah, so that's my plan for my session. What's your session on? Taking it to the next level or something? Is that right?
Mine is nebulous as the ones that I tend to do are,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So this one is sort of like taking a good piece, how to take something good to something great,
yep. Good,
which the first opening to that is going to be pretty fun. But mine, I am even looser than I was last year.
good.
I don't really have any slides um, or anything like that. I mean, if we need them, we'll just take what's on the internet and use it. You know what I mean? It's there to be used. So um, part of if people share their work on the internet, we can look at it and analyze it. That's a little bit about how it goes, I think. More often than not, obviously, I'll just use my own stuff. And let people shred me if we need to use an example of what not to do. But I'm sure you wouldn't mind if I use if I want to use yours as an example, or I
Absolutely.
don't think Dave will mind, or any of supporting legends. I don't think Jared would mind either.
Well, I've used some of Jared's.
Yeah, nice, nice. Um, So yeah, I mean, one thing that I've found really interesting with the jam session is like I've not actually written anything down yet, which is very very Bucks like. But I think you might agree with this is that in these sorts of fields, we can probably lean on our experience fairly heavily, right? Like we've sat and talked about things like this for years now on the stream and in our private conversation groups. So when you feel pretty knowledgeable on a topic, it's easy to just eat up 2 hours, right?
Well, I think when I look at, because obviously I do a fair bit of public speaking at work, but also being an MC, nerves at public speaking is something a lot of people experience, and my solution to nerves in public speaking is very very simple. It's be knowledgeable about your topic. That's it. As soon as you do that, as soon as you're confident in what you're speaking about, there's nothing that'll shock you. You can speak it passionately, and
Mm.
so this is a case in point of a situation where neither you or I need to be worried about, presenting or teaching or anything, because we can speak passionately and enthusiastically about this topic for probably 5 hours, 6 hours.
Yeah.
Just give us a fucking microphone.
Yeah, exactly right. And in the end, it's just about empowering people with some of the things we've learned, or maybe challenging them about maybe some things they've been thinking about or they've been doing that might suit to be challenged in. But yeah, I mean, for anyone who's coming that didn't come last year, we really lean into getting everyone talking and communicating. And for me, I really like to sit in the room rather than stand up in front of people, and we just sort of get riffing, and hopefully we can open up some stuff and maybe get people sometimes leaving with more questions than you came with is a good thing, right? So hopefully we can get that going as well. So I just have one word permeating for this whole jam session. There's one word that I can't get. Like I'm dreaming about it, man. I had a dream about this word the other day.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of it's going to be anchored around this word.
I'm excited to hear it.
Mm.
No, I'm looking forward to the.
I'm going to type it to you. I don't want to say it.
No, fair enough. We don't want to ruin it.
I'll send you a message on Instagram. This is the word. There you go.
They see me rolling.
There's a lot.
Oof, strong word.
Yeah.
Strong topic.
Circulates that. So yeah, I mean, we've got some other pretty cool jam sessions going on. I like the blend this year of what we have. We've got you and I probably loosey goosying it.
Yeah.
I think Jordan, Kyle, and is going to be quite theoretical, and bringing obviously to some degree sort of a more arts approach to miniature painting and how you can implement lessons you learn in that space across. And then I think we've got a very technical workshop with Liam. It'll be really interesting to see the impact of Liam's, because what he's teaching is like really quite valuable. However, it's probably also a little bit daunting to do in a jam session. But Liam's awesome, right? Like he's a pretty good teacher, and he's very, very patient and passionate about what he does. So
what's his topic?
So Liam's doing, like, he's going to teach people how to do proper resin pours, which is like pretty awesome, but also pretty full on.
Good luck.
Yeah. So I mean, if anyone
if anyone can do it, it's him.
Yeah, exactly. You're expecting a rigorous lesson plan from Kyle and Jordan, Alexi? Yeah, I mean, you might get one, you might not. I haven't spoken to them too much about. I spoke to Jordan like 6 or 7 weeks back, maybe longer, about what some of his ideas were for it, and he seemed pretty on it. And then, of course, the one that I think is really filling that traditional style learning outcome is lovely Nat doing freehand.
The Nat attack.
If anyone's been watching what Nat's been sharing on her Instagram, she's definitely promoting what she's going to be teaching very well. Have you seen what she's been doing?
Yeah, she's a superstar. I've got nothing but love for her.
Lovely person, and awesome artist and painter.
Nothing but love for Nat.
So yeah, we've got a really nice split. I caught up with Jared and Seb during the midweek last week to discuss all things judging.
Who is judging? Is Jared judging as well?
Yeah, it's Jared, myself, and Seb. So.
And do we think Jared's going to enter some pieces as well this year?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I don't think he's entering anything.
Doesn't want to present himself with some more awards?
No, I think he specifically has joined the judging panel to stop Timbo from winning any awards. That's more his goal this year, is just anything he can do to throw the stick in the tire of Timbo.
Fair enough.
So that was good to catch up. Obviously, there's some judging changes for this year for Guilds In.
Yeah, we should talk about those. So we're judging a a presentation instead of just individual models. Is that right?
Yes, we are. So it will be very similar to European competitions. So you'll enter as a group, like a portfolio, I guess, of work, a display of work, and simply you will, if your display is considered to be at medal standard, then you will be awarded a medal for your display. How we determine the medal standard to a degree is based around how well the presentation is across the whole display.
Yep.
I think if you're gunning for a medal in the display category and want to get some chops in there, something to definitely think about is like how well I'm presenting across all of my entries, because if you've got one really strong entry in there and three entries that are not really strong, those three entries are going to really pull down the overall result for you, which is pretty much how Monty and scale model work. You've obviously experienced that judging before, Trent. So
Indeed.
is there anything you want to add to that?
No, yeah, it'll be good to see how this works. I talked about it briefly yesterday. Um, it's definitely a sort of a more advanced approach to miniature painting competitions. You know, you're expecting people to have a multiple like a portfolio of strong work, which sort of does favour those people that have multiple entries. Having said that, you know, if you have a one piece that's absolutely exceptional, then they do tend to take that out of the rotation and say this is medal worthy. Full stop. Is that still the plan?
So it'll be simply like in that instance, let's say that you enter four miniatures and one of them is completely outstanding and it really sets itself apart from the rest of your display. You're more likely then to just receive a singular medal for that particular entry rather than a display award for the whole entry.
Yeah.
For your whole folio of work, if that makes sense.
Cool.
So you'll see medals go out for single awards, and then you'll see some medals go out for displays. And so, I mean, this will be purely determined by what's entered and how much of it. But I think you would make the assumption. I mean, it's assumptions. What is it? Yeah, can make
an ass out of you and me.
An ass can make ass out of you and me. But if I was to make an assumption, I would assume that there will be less awards in the potentially at the very tippity top end of the display, right? Which is, if you have a look at, if you want a reference for that or some data, you can jump on the Monty website or the Scale Model website, and if you have a look at the top there for display, for example, there's usually only a few that go out in that space, relevant to how big your event is and how many people are entering. So who knows? Everyone could do amazing, and we'll be giving everyone something, but you know, for the most part, that'll probably be how it works. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I agree with you that it is a more advanced way of judging and does have a bit of a higher expectation on the painters. However, we're probably at a time now where we do need to challenge this space and challenge the painters a little bit more. And I think ultimately we will be better off for it across the scene. And again, it's just providing more of a landscape. We're getting a lot of, like, our events don't all have to be the same.
Yeah, well, I think it's important that they're not all the same.
Yeah, very much so. So, also introducing standard into this event too. So that's great to see. Obviously, again, mentioned it once tonight, but something I'm personally very passionate about. I know you're very passionate about it too. It's something that we really enjoyed about Crimson Brush 2024, and love to see that that's spreading through the community as well, because ultimately, you know, standard is just as important as masters, maybe arguably, if not
more important. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to some of the fun activities as well. And of course, you know, most importantly, we're separated. That line we love to use, the tyranny of distance, gets a hold of us all. So to get everyone together, or get as many as people we can together a few times a year for this, ultimately is where the real prize is, in my opinion.
No, I agree. Yeah, it's nice. I was thinking the other day, you know, I went to the Brisbane Display Painters Guild was on the weekend, so I popped in there and saw a couple of people, and I was like, oh, this is nice. But I was like, oh, geez, it'd be great if I could see Bucks, just every now and then, or see my mate DC. What's happening, buddy? We just don't get to do it outside of events, unfortunately. Which is something we can change and address in the future potentially, but life's life. You know how it is.
It is, and this is the one thing I do want our community to consider, is that for a lot of us we just don't get to see each other very regularly. So there's an added weight in that side, because a lot of us have built relationships and friendships, and we're encouraging more and more people to get involved and build their relationships and connections and friendships with people. And as we have sort of all connected in our way, I can't wait to see that next generation come through. You know what I mean? That look at you and I and DC and just be like, nah, they're just a bunch of old hacks, old hack has-beens. They're not it anymore, and they create their own groups. And
people already think about me like that, mate. Thank you, Sammy. They already think I'm an old hack, and they're probably right.
Yeah, it's something that we can test it across our whole scene, and we talk about it all. We have to fight the perception at times that there is clicks and things like that. It all rolls into one. It's how do you run really successful events with lots of new people coming, while also see your friends that you only get to see 3 times a year. So that's why, I guess, those social events that the events attach to the weekends are great as well. Guilds Inn's probably pretty excellent at this. I think they generally have at least one night of dinner on the Friday night around setup, and then I think this year, on the Saturday night there's trivia and stuff like that, right?
Is there? Awesome.
Yeah, I think so. So I know the organisation team definitely took some feedback from last year in regards to travelling away from the venue for a hangout, and have sort of implemented the change they want to because of that. So rather than shoot off to pubs or anything like that, it's going to stay at PRM, and hopefully that gives people the room and space to be able to have those conversations they're looking to have after the event, and connect and talk, and be in an environment that's familiar. Which, if for those who have not been to Guilds Inn that are coming, the venue is awesome. It's a lot of fun. I think sadly this might be the last time at this venue, because I reckon Guilds Inn's probably going to outgrow the venue. But
it's a problem for future Jared, not for now.
Problem for future Jared and the team. Not this year. So well, Timbo's saying that. One thing I want to shout out is the merchandise from
oh yes,
from
Inkstone.
Yeah, fantastic. It's a really great design this year's one. I think that's something that I've really loved about the community, doing all the merch drops and changing it up every year, and giving people something that they can stamp on themselves. Boom, there it is. I was there. I had a good time.
Just thought I might grab this guy.
He's trying to get in some Look, mate. So this could be considered very risky business if you are very serious about award winning. Putting your work in front of a judge for them to. Which we
know I'm very, very serious about winning awards. No, I was.
Tell me how you feel about this.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's. So I was reflecting on something Bunny said to me a couple of months ago, which was, you should paint like this again. And I think it was partly in jest, but also partly serious, because she really liked how I painted it. And I just think my painting has evolved since then. I used to be a lot more concerned about making things perfect and looking like other people. And I don't worry about that as much anymore. I think this is a really nice balance of what I like painting very considered, messy brushstrokes that tell a story, and then there's
I would say this is on the right side of what we would consider gestural, right?
Yeah,
I think it's very gestural painting, which is something that most people would associate with your the way you go about your art. I think that the thing about gestural is when it's on the right side, it still has considered intent about what you're doing,
Mm.
and that's really important to sending, communicating with the person that's looking at it. And this is something that I think you lost for a little while, and I think you've got it back on this piece.
Mm.
And I think the break combined with reflection on what you want to do is definitely bringing that out. So I actually really look forward to what the sort of 6 months after this is going to look like for you.
Yeah.
Although you are, looks like you're heading barreling headfirst into a 12 diorama. So we'll see what kind of impact that has on you after model
Indeed.
7 and day 7 of painting terrain.
Yeah,
So.
it's a different world. I live in a different world at the moment than single figures, but I do really like painting those single figures every now and then. So
For sure.
yeah, no, I was just really happy painting it. I really enjoyed painting it. Felt good the whole way through, and got to the end, and I was like, yeah,
It's a fascinating thing when you're painting something that requires endurance. Not so much the big stuff like doing the big dioramas, but there's a level of endurance even on busts and 75
Yeah.
meters. And to be honest, on all painting, like arguably painting small miniatures takes longer. In all honesty,
yeah,
but I think there's a moment when you feel like you're on,
yeah,
and you're really like humming. You're like, I really like what I'm doing here, and I actually think that's the closest to danger you are on the model. What do you think about that?
Ooh, it's an interesting observation. Yeah, I mean, I can usually feel about halfway through a paint job if this is going to be a really good one, or if it's just not it.
Mm-hmm.
And when it is a good one, finding the motivation to keep going at that level is really challenging, because you're like, this is fucking awesome. This is going to be sick. And then you sort of, maybe you just take your foot off the gas a little bit or something. It's an interesting observation.
Yeah, I think the big one. I love what you said there, because you're 100% right. The other really big one is that you can emotionally burn out. You know what I mean? You can exhaust so much positive energy in that space that you just, like you said, you don't necessarily have what it takes to continue going at that speed. And so this is this fascinating thing about the journey, with a piece. And I mean, I guess to a degree here, where I'm talking from in this instance is more for a competition level piece, where you're trying to really elevate yourself and elevate your work, and present something that shows a progress in your skill. But yeah, it's an endurance element. There's a stamina based element to it all that's fascinating to see how different people tackle.
It's one of the reasons why I always come back to when you enjoy what you are doing. When you are just like enjoying the process. It doesn't feel like a slog. It doesn't feel onerous, because you're just sitting there and enjoying it. And when you focus on the result and you're like, yeah, I really need this to be great. That's often when it doesn't go well, because you're trying so hard.
Yeah, it loses a bit of that thing, that unexplainable thing.
Yeah, the creative spark, the little magic.
That a group of friends has been desperately trying to, in moments, try to clarify and quantify what that could be. And
good old threefold soul.
The other one as well that I think is really interesting when you're really close to that space is that you may start to play it safe, after you.
Yeah. That's a very strong one. Strong call. Yeah.
And then you might start to play it safe, and you might not push yourself far enough. And that's a really hard space to understand. That's going to be something that we talk about a lot in the jam sessions. So,
play it safe is such a insightful one, Bucks. I got to tell you, like, and when I say play it safe, it's like, I know how to do this color. I'll just do exactly the same way as I've done this color every other time, and then it's just going to come out exactly the same way as it always has. And you just, where's your growth? Where's your learning?
Well, do you know what? Do you know what? Something that I want to put out there. We've obviously seen a bit of an influx of people come along, so I think a few people who have joined us now are probably going to be at the guilds and will want to know about it. But um, I think that oh my god, have I just forgot it? Oh, it was so good. Oh no. Go quickly refresh me there. What was the last thing you said?
We were talking about uh, not not playing it safe.
Yeah, with like particular colors and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, and hey, that happens to everyone at every step of the way, at like whether you're at the height of your miniature painting or not, you're humming or you're not. Like we have a tendency to want to fall back on knowledge that we already have, rather than chase down knowledge we've not quite got yet, or skill that we've not quite got yet through practice. So. And it's about being okay with that, right? Something that Dave and I talk a lot about is in painters. And I mean, listen, you know, if you're, hey Bear, how are you? When you do what you've always done, you'll get what you always got. That's very, very true. Very wise, Bear. Um, I think at some point you have to be willing to let yourself go backwards in order to go forward.
Good.
Um, and so this will be something that we talk a little bit more about as well. But yeah, I mean, if you want to grow, you have to go, you know, particularly if it's a new technique or a new skill set, a new piece of knowledge or a different style, you have to go back to the start. It doesn't matter if you're exceptional at painting in a more traditional, you know, UK-ish heavy metal style. If you want to learn how to paint volumetrically, you're going to have to go back to being a beginner in that space, and you have to be comfortable with that. What I've noticed across our scene is the painters that have been comfortable in that space are the ones that are progressing at a faster rate than others. So hopefully, you know, if you're listening along and you find yourself in this space, don't be afraid to try things. Don't be afraid to fail. You know, even at a competition level, don't be afraid. You know, you put something in and it doesn't quite do as well as you want. All that can happen from there is you go forward. You know, you're not going to go backwards. You can only learn. You can only grow from it. So, yeah. Some interesting stuff to talk about.
One of my favorite musical songs from the Disney portfolio is from a movie called Zootopia, and it's the main theme song of the movie. It's called "Try Everything," and it's sung by Shakira. By the way, you should look it up on the internet. It's wonderful. Try everything.
What was it? My hips don't lie.
Yeah, along with hips don't lie. No, but the whole premise of the song is, I won't give up. No, I won't give in until I reach the end. I want to try everything. I want to try even though I could fail.
Yes.
Oh, just rustles my jimmies. I love it.
Just gets you going. Yeah, Sammy, I'm glad you are identifying with what we're talking about here. Yeah, you can't. No one can expect you to nail it the first time, and if no one can expect that of you, you can't expect that of you either. You know. We set such high, lofty, goals and expectations of ourselves, and sometimes we fall very short of those, purely because of the level we set the expectation in the first place. So, yeah, you know, again, balance. Anyway, we've got quite philosophical. We should probably
we do tend to do that. We do tend to do that.
We do. I mean, it's. I wish the two didn't go hand in hand. What about you, mate? Have you seen anything around the traps, like in the space that's been rustling those jimmies, getting you up and about? You seen any paint jobs you've really enjoyed? Any artists who are smoking it right now that you've really, you know?
Yeah, I'll tell you. I posted it on Instagram for someone the other day who probably doesn't get enough kudos in general for just how exceptionally innovative she is. And it's Anna Wachowska, Poland. Anna painting.
Anna's been around for
years
so
and years.
Right? Anna was a lead member in Den of Imagination, wasn't
Correct.
she?
Correct.
Yeah, she's a star.
And I'll link her now for everyone because she does not get enough like recognition, I reckon. She is literally one of the best painters in the world, continually driving, you know, in different directions. Oh,
She does, yeah. She does something like unapologetically, and
yeah,
that's she's an airbrush artist, right? She's really strong with the airbrush. Doesn't mean she can't do stuff with brush. She can do it all, but she loves the airbrush medium, and that's the space she's been teaching in as well. I think she ran a pretty big workshop at Contrast on doing backgrounds, and she particularly excels at doing sort of etheric, atmospheric space type stuff.
she just posted
Clouds,
something that just
yeah.
absolutely blew me away. I was like,
Was
oh,
it the elf?
yeah.
Yeah, I thought it might have been.
I was just like, oh my god. So I posted on there. I was just like, you're just one of the most creative painters going around out there now, and it just, you know, I every time I think there's no one doing anything new in the miniature world, you know, you go and you
Yeah,
find someone else, and
I think she's applying a lot of spray paint art methods into how she does it, which is super cool. Yeah, I mean, she's got a really unique style and flair about the way she paints. I'll tell you an account that I've just been absolutely high on for the last probably 6 to 12 months, and I just can't get enough of this account. It's I'm going to share it. It's probably I might have mentioned it once or twice here before, but this account and for my inner circle of friends, they're probably well, they're not sick of me because they all love this account. I actually shared this account with Dave, and he'd never seen it before, which is, I mean, getting an account past Dave.
that's a win.
That's rare, you know.
That's a win.
But this account here, it's a Necromunda and Mordheim account, and I think that there's just a beauty about everything that this particular image artist does. Here we go. That one there. So artist is just doing everything to make me happy in the space. You know when someone makes you want to stop thinking about the space the way you've been thinking about it and start doing something completely different.
Yeah,
That's this fella has that effect.
I love it.
Yeah, when I see, particularly when it surrounds gaming, like when people have accepted that, because there's maybe this is quite a unique type of hobbyist or artist or crafter or maker, whatever they want to be titled. But when you're a gamer, which you are, Trent, but also you want to be the best possible painter you can be in that space as well. It's a very interesting space to be in, right? Because functionally you are still painting with a purpose more than just painting itself. You know, you're creating tokens and pieces that you can use in your games. But wanting to take those to an incredibly high level it's just a really interesting space, really inspires me.
I've had I had quite lofty goals with my Kingdom Death collection, which was that I wanted it to be the best painted Kingdom Death collection in the world, and I felt like I was for a while. But there's definitely one that I've seen since that's
there's some monsters out there now, isn't there?
got me covered. Certainly,
Peepo Glazers, right?
Peepo, what a fucking beast!
Peepo, he's a bit of a jet when it comes to the Kingdom Death space.
But I will say that when I say collection, I mean of all of the monsters that you play in the game.
Yeah, like every single thing.
Yeah, everything that you can play, and I doubt there's many people that have as many monsters and stuff painted as I do. So I feel I'm okay at the moment. But anyway, it's a nice goal. It's a nice goal to have. You know, to be a hobbyist at the absolute top of their game. That's, you know, for me it was the old Best Painted Awards. You know, that used to be one of the things that we used to strive for. I used to strive for, certainly. So.
Yeah. So there's always there's always something to look at, which I love. I think I got really interested in a little bit of the grimdark area for a few months.
Yeah, you were frothing about that game, weren't you? Some game.
Yeah, a bit of Turnip and a bit of Trench Crusade and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, Timbo, he's an absolute jet, mate. He's beautiful. You know, great painter, great creator. Really like at the forefront of producing some of the best Necromunda stuff and Mordheim stuff now around. And there's Fate Stonecutter is another one for Mordheim that I really enjoy. Really classic Warhammer approach to things. So, speaking of classic Warhammer, I decided to pick up an army this week. It's been a while since I did that. I delved into some old world Trent and picked up a dwarf army. Have you checked out some of those new dwarf characters that are coming out?
I haven't checked out the dwarf characters myself, but I've enjoyed Old World.
Yeah,
Enjoyed seeing it pop up on my feed.
it's better when it's around, right? Than not. Craig Dog. I mean, I don't see why not, mate. I don't see why. You know, I know Liam well enough, and he'd be, he'd want you to try your best to have that mantle rather than just conceding it to him.
Counterpoint, definitely concede.
He does have a big Sally's army, but no.
Well, we'll be wrapping up very shortly, mate. But it's only a few short days away from seeing you again, which I'm very excited about. So, I hear you guys are doing a ghost tour on Thursday night. Is that right?
Yeah, I think we're going to do a ghost tour, which will be a bit of fun. We try to find something to do at each event that's a little bit different. I mean, when we do the Melbourne Arc events, we tend to do the patio hangs at our place and chop it up there, get out the sage at the end of the night, and burn off any evil spirits that we've summoned during our elaborate conversations about nothing. But yeah, in Sydney, I think this time we're going to do a ghost tour, so that should be fun.
Lunatics. I did a ghost tour at Port Arthur once. It was wonderful, actually. It was a great experience. But
did we let Bunny pick the extra event? Actually, a lot of our group really has a shared interest in this space. So I think it was more a group decision actually. Jared has a really keen interest in it, and Yana, Ash, Timbo, and myself, Storm are all pretty big horror enthusiasts. So. And it's something that I've, in a past life, spent a lot of time visiting places like this, although I've never visited one of these places legally, so that'll be a new experience. I'll enjoy someone telling me all about it. Should be good fun.
all right, might put these two side by side and see how we feel.
Yeah, unify. Very important step.
Very good so far, so good. Just keeping the keeping a similar aesthetic because these two exist in the same environment. So
yeah, these both. Yeah, these are good heroes.
Good heroes. Yep, standing up on top of the hill in front of the church. So
I think I can just say heroes. I don't have to say good heroes. Eh?
Yeah.
Doubles down there.
Yep. And then
are you how many entries are you bringing along for the display?
Do we have to do that online? By the way, I probably should. Have I already done that? I'm not sure.
I mean, you're usually pretty diligent with that stuff. I'm sure that's still.
That should indicate just how busy my life has been in the last few months. Mm-hmm. I think I did. I feel like I did pre-enter. I think I'm bringing 4. Was what I tossed up that I'd bring 4.
That's a good number. 4, 5. I'm a very big there's certain numbers I can't get out of my head, and I think it literally comes from. We talked about this before with entering squad, 3, 5, 7. So it's 1, 3, 5 is sort of the number I think about the display. But 4's a pretty good number as well. 4 sits nicely if you do 3 in a dio, right?
Well, I've got the Alone, the Brom piece that I did, the vampire guy or the Frankenstein guy. I've got Goblin Knight, I've got Neon Knights, and then I was going to bring the little priestess holding the thing. But 5 does sound like a nice number too, so maybe I'll bring.
What about the Green Knight? How are you feeling about that character you did? The Green.
That one will not be coming, no.
That one will not coming. There's a really good example of analysing your work and going, this one's not going to join the team. This is not. This is bench player C1.
Yeah, indeed. How do I get tickets? Did I buy? I'm sure I bought tickets. I'm sure I bought something because I had to buy Mossy tickets, but maybe I didn't.
Who's Frog Dog?
No, I'm not going to enter Frog Dog.
Anyway,
King-
Frog Dog's that poop thing.
Yeah, the poop monster. No, won't be entering him.
Yeah.
Oh well, I'll go and do that later on this week. I got some time this week, so. But I'll be there, friends.
You can enter Frog Dog in what's it called when it comes around, right? QMHE.
Yeah, QMHE. It'll get a look in. But all right, mate. Good to chat. Good to see you again. Looking forward to spending some time with you on the weekend. So, thank you all for joining us. Hope you had a great time. I'll catch you all next time. Big Dano out. Buxo out.
Bye.